mathematicians. Today we're going to talk about angles. Okay? When we classify angles, there are 4 different types we're going to talk about. The first is a right angle. Okay? It has this box in here. Okay? This makes a 90 degrees. Right angles are exactly 90 degrees. Acute angles. These are just the little small ones. These are less than 90. So those are the really tiny angles. They are less than 90 degrees, acute. The next one is obtuse. Obtuse is greater than 90. Okay. So right are exactly 90. Acute is less than 90. Obtuse is greater than 90. Our straight angle makes a straight line, and this is exactly 180 degrees. So we are going to use those 4 names to classify angles. Other angles we're going to talk about today are vertical and adjacent. Vertical angles are across from another. So angle 1 and angle 3. They are across from each other. Those are vertical angles. Name another pair. Angle 2 and angle 4. They are also across from one another. So those are considered vertical angles. Vertical angles are equal. Okay? They have the same measure. So if angle 1 is 50 degrees, angle 3 must be 50 degrees. Okay. So vertical angles have the same measurement. So that is really important. Next we have adjacent angles. And these are angles that are next to each other. They share a side. So angle 1 shares a side with angle 2. Angle 1 also shares a side with angle 4. Can you name another pair? Angle 3 and angle 4 share a side. And there's another one in here. Angle 2 and angle 3 share a side. Okay. If you look, what do these 2 angles form right here? A straight line. So angles that are next to each other that are adjacent like that add up to 180. Adjacent angles like that make a straight line, add to 180. If they make a straight line, then they add to 180. Okay. Let's look at some examples. Name each angle, then classify it. So when we name an angle, there are a couple ways we can do so. We can call this angle A, B, C, using the letters. Angle A, B, C. We can also go backwards with our letters. So we would have angle C, B, A. Right at the center here of that angle is called the vertex. We can call the angle just by its vertex, angle B. And lastly, the number inside, we can call this angle 2. Okay. So 4 different ways we can name this, using all 3 letters, both ways, by just the vertex or that center point there, or by the number inside. Let's classify this. Is this right, acute, obtuse, or straight? This is a right angle. How do we know that this is a right angle? Because of this little box inside. This little box inside tells us that it is a right angle. Try number 2 on your own. Find 4 ways to name it, then classify it. Let's see how you did. What is one way you named this triangle, or angle? Angle RST, using our letters. We could also go the other way. What was the other way you had? Angle TSR. Using just the vertex, what did you name this? The vertex is right here at that center point, so it is angle S. And using the number, angle 3. Was this a right, acute, obtuse, or straight angle? Right. If it was it's an obtuse. There would be our 90 degrees right here, so it is larger, so this is an obtuse angle. It is larger than that 90 degrees. Nice job. Using the information about vertical angles, we are going to find a missing measurement. Okay? So these two angles are vertical because they are across from each other. We talked that vertical angles have the same measurement. So this angle here, which I'm not sure of yet, must equal this angle here. So I can make them equal. 3x minus 10 equals 50. Okay. Vertical angles are equal, so this angle equals this angle. And now this is just a two-step equation that we can solve. What piece do we want to get rid of first? The minus 10. Why do we want to get rid of a minus 10 first? It's not attached to the variable. How do you get rid of a minus 10? Add 10, and what I do on one side must do to the other. What happens here? They cancel. 3x equals 60. This is 3 times x. How do I undo a times? Divide by 3. What do I do on one side? Must do to the other. X equals 60 divided by 3 is 20. Okay. So in order for this to equal 50, x must be 20. So vertical angles must be equal. What do you know about these two angles in number 2? They're adjacent. They share this side, and they form a straight line. What do you know about the measurement of a straight line? It's 180 degrees. So if I add these two together, what must it equal? 180. Because these two are adjacent and make a straight line right there, they must add up to equal 180. Let's put some things together over here. What can I put together? 50 plus 2. So I have 2x plus 52 equals 180. Get rid of what is not attached. How do you get rid of a plus 52? Minus 52. What I do on one side must do to the other. 2x equals 128. And lastly, how do you solve for x? Divide by 2. X equals 64. So if the angles are across from each other, we know they are equal. And if they make a straight line, we know they add up to be 180. Go ahead and solve this one on your own. Find the value of x. Let's see how you did. What type of angles are these? Vertical. They're across from each other. What do you know about vertical angles? They're equal. So I can make them equal to each other. Vertical angles are equal. This is 4 times x. How do I get rid of a times? 4. Divide by 4. What do I do on one side? Must do to the other. X must equal 20. If they are across from each other, vertical angles are equal, so I'm going to make them equal. Solve for x. Nice job today, mathematicians.